Good morning and welcome to Connect MKE. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Our focus this morning is on your health. Reaching and maintaining a healthy weight is important for overall health and can help you prevent and control many diseases and conditions. My guest today is a #1 New York Times best-selling author who has written numerous books over the years, helping hundreds of thousands of people lose weight and get their overall health in check. Dr. Ian Smith is a graduate of Harvard, Columbia, and the University of Chicago's Pritzker School of Medicine. He's here today to tell us about his latest book, Burn, Melt, Shred, Transform Your Body in 8 Weeks. How are you, Dr. Ian?
I'm great. It's always great to be with you.
Yeah, it's always good to see you, and I'm always excited to hear what new information you have for us. So before we get into the content of your new book, let's talk about what steps you took putting this particular book together that's different from all the other books.
Well, it's interesting. This book concept came to me. I was waiting outside my kids' school, picking them up, and I'm sitting in the car. It was the end of December, and I said to myself, what can I do different for 2022 that I haven't done before? And the idea came to my mind was, I want to make myself more available to a wider number of people. What do I mean by that? Number one, I want to make a program that is affordable. The program itself is affordable. So I self-published this book so it wouldn't be very expensive. So people could buy it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble for $7.99 for the digital download. So that's number one. I made it really, really accessible to a lot of people. But number two, I wanted the foods to be affordable. I wanted the plan to be affordable. I thought about my mom, who was a single mom raising 2 kids. And I said to myself as I wrote this book, could my mother afford these foods? She worked multiple jobs. Would she have time to make the recipes in the book? And thirdly, would there be enough flexibility in the program that she could choose to buy the things that she could afford and still follow the program? And so this book is a very personal book as far as kind of what the inspiration was. But I really wanted to reach out to people and help them in a way I haven't done before typically. So I also started a Facebook group that's the same title of the book, Burn, Melt, Shred. And in the Facebook group, people can talk to me, live Facebook group sessions. I answer your questions. Everything's free. I do a Zoom coaching session once a week where you come with questions about the book or weight loss. Everything's free. So the idea for this was this would be a book where I gave myself to as many people as possible to help them lose weight in the new year.
I love that because a lot of times, like you said, people don't have time to read a book and then try to do the things that's in there. So you've made this, it's pretty thin, straightforward and to the point and no nonsense, because right there in the foreword you said, you know what, if you decide to do this 100%, that's on you. If you decide to do it 50%, that's on you too. So really kind of making people accountable for, like, are you going to commit to this or not, right?
Well, one thing I've learned is that people really respond to simplicity. Listen, we've been through a really tough 3 years and people are stressed and there's a lot of anxiety. The last thing people want is to be stressed when they're trying to lose weight. So like you say, the book is thin, not thin of information, but there's, pun intended, I cut out a lot of fat. This is the plan. This is why you need to do the plan. This is how you do it. So every day I give you your meal options, your snack options, very clear. But I also realize that people want to get results, but they want to get results in a way that's comfortable. No extremism. So it's not about eliminating entire food groups. You can't have this, you can't have that, you must eat this. It's really about, how do I take the food that is in most people's kitchen already and help them eat it and prepare it in a way that's going to help them lose weight and also maintain that weight loss. So I really look at this book as a very accessible program, starting from not just the price, but also how much you have to read, which is not a lot to read, all the way to how easy and straightforward the program is.
Yeah, I think that's important. And you dedicated this to your twin brother, and somebody just sat up in bed and said, he has a twin brother? Dana. And you basically said that he reminds you what it means to be fearless and to never be afraid to strike out on your own and follow your dreams. So talk a little bit to that whole concept of following your dream, because someone may think like you've been doing your own thing and following your dream, but is that something that you're approaching differently in 2022?
So you're the first person to ask me about that dedication, by the way. So I'm going to say this to you. I wasn't prepared to talk about it. But I'm going to be honest about why I dedicated the book to him. I have for a long time talked to my publisher about making my books and programs more affordable to the audience and to make them more accessible. And people don't know what happens behind my fourth wall as an author, but there's a lot of back and forth, particularly with me, because I'm always thinking about my readers and my followers and my fans. And I want them to be able to purchase and follow my programs. And so there's always an issue about the price point of the book. And I just decided that for this book, this is my 22nd book, I was going to publish it myself without my traditional publisher. And the reason why I dedicated the book to my brother is because my brother was also the inspiration behind my really first big #1 New York Times bestseller, Fat Smash, because he's the one who told me, you can go do this on your own. And even though I'm a very confident person and I'm a dreamer and I'm a believer, even people like me still need to be nudged every once in a while that, hey, you can go get it. And so this book is dedicated to Dana because I published this on my own because I wanted to address my issue, which is I wanted to make it affordable to everyone, despite the resistance of my publisher at the time. And so that's where it came from.
All right. Thank you for sharing that. And I love it because you being someone who's always motivating others that they can do it, they can lose the weight, they can be healthy, all of those things. You're saying there's somebody there to kind of push you as well. So I think that's pretty special. So we know that poor diet and lack of exercise are the main contributors to weight gain. But I hear a lot of people talking about as they get older that they're having a harder time getting the weight off. So does age play a factor as well?
100% on many levels. First of all, no matter how great we look and feel when we're young, all of us have a slowing of our metabolism. Our metabolism is what's inside of our body that causes us or helps us burn those calories, helps us burn energy. And imagine your metabolism being like a big fire, right? A big oven. And you put wood into the oven, a wood burning oven, and you burn more wood the bigger the oven. And so that's what our metabolism is. Some of us have big metabolisms. Some of us have small metabolisms, but as we grow older, our metabolism slows down, it gets smaller. And so, yes, that's one of the issues. Also, hormonal issues. Men and women, our hormonal milieu changes as we age, and how our body responds to our hormones changes as we age. The third thing is that, our bodies are not as spry as they used to be. So we tend to be more sedentary as we age because we just don't have the energy. Our joints are a little stiff in the morning. And so, yeah, as we age, it becomes more difficult to lose weight and more difficult to keep that weight loss off. But what I say to everybody, and I have people in my Facebook group who are 77, 75 years old who have lost a gang of weight. I tell people what you put into it is what you get out of it. It's never too late to make these changes, gradual changes, not drastic changes, but start making these gradual changes. And then you will find that the results will come. You have to be patient. Too many people, by the way, have unrealistic expectations. They want to lose too much weight too fast. And when it doesn't happen, they get very discouraged and they feel like the program is not working or that they're not doing well. When it's not either one of those, it's that your expectations exceed what is realistic. So people can still do it. Even, by the way, here we are, end of February, heading into March. Most people are off of their New Year's resolutions. It doesn't mean that you have to give up on making that transformation.
Never too late to pick back up and keep going, right? If at first you don't
Absolutely.
succeed, try again. So in Burn, Melt, Shred, you encourage people to drink a glass of water before their meal. And I think it's like Health 101 when you talk about the importance of drinking water, but there's somebody out there that needs to be reminded, right, doctor?
Well, 100%. First of all, the body is 70% water. And most people are walking around dehydrated and don't even realize it. People think that you're only dehydrated when you're sweating profusely after a big, long workout. But remember, we lose water from our body in many ways through breathing, through our skin, through urinating and going to the bathroom. So there are all kinds of ways that we are losing water, and people are not replenishing their water loss. So that's number one. Number two, this is a real hack, a diet hack. Drinking that water. What I'm trying to do by having you drink that glass of water before you take your first bite of the meal is that your stomach works on something called stretch receptors. So this is your stomach, and inside your stomach, these things, my fingers, are stretch receptors. And when your stomach expands, those receptors are triggered to send a message to your brain saying, I'm getting full, or it sends a message saying, hey, I have stretched enough, I'm done. It's satiety. And what happens is, think about it, if your stomach is empty and you first start stretching it with water, which has no calories, then now there's less room in your stomach to put the food in that actually has the calories. So that's why I say start every meal by drinking a glass of water first, 1 cup, 8 ounces, and then during the meal, have 8 ounces of water, and you'll be consuming less food that's on your plate.
All right, so a little psychological, but at the same time, the body responds to that. So definitely one that people should keep in mind at all times when you're eating. So in this book, you're breaking down each meal 3 times a day. So in your opinion, why is it important to eat 3 times a day? Because I know so many people, I just had this conversation with my cousin, who don't think breakfast is important at all. But I think, and I need you to clarify, that's one of the biggest hurdles to losing weight is kickstarting that metabolism, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. So there's a lot in there, by the way, to unpack. First of all, 3 meals a day is what we typically have been told that we should be eating. And I am a believer of 3 meals a day, but I don't think you always have to have 3 meals a day because, excuse me, I think that depending on what kind of plan that you're on, you can get by, for example, with 2 meals separated by 4 snacks. And so it doesn't always have to be 3 square meals like we grew up and our parents told us, but some people are accustomed to 3 meals and that's fine. I also have always believed that breakfast, or the meal 1, I call it, is the most important meal of the day because you have been sleeping and therefore you have not been taking in any energy through food. Mm-hmm. And your body, coming out of the sleeping vegetative state, is now going out into the world to do things. You have to have energy on board. It's like your car. You don't want your car sitting in a garage with no gas in it, and then you get in there and say, okay, I'm not going to drive 200 miles. It doesn't work that way. And so you got to put gas into your car. You got to get food into your body. And so I always believe that your breakfast, or meal 1, is typically the most important meal of the day. Not dinner, by the way. People have it in reverse. People want to eat these huge dinners with steak and potatoes and all these things, which sound and taste wonderful, but then they go to sleep. And when they go to sleep after these big meals, they've consumed all these calories, but their body is now motionless. They're not burning the calories. Where do those extra calories go? Your body takes those excess calories and stores them in the form of fat. That's what it's all about. And so I think that people have to understand that meal 1 is important, but also sometimes 2 good solid meals with snacks. Snacks are critical. By the way, can also be a way to do it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned snacks because in your latest book, I keep saying the title so people can remember, Burn, Melt, Shred, you do have a list of healthy snacks along with different meats and seafood, veggies, nuts and seeds, as well as dairy that people can kind of choose from, so they'll kind of already know which things are acceptable in this whole journey of living healthier. And chapter 10, you've got some burn, melt, shred recipes. So I need to know if you actually came up with these names. Grandma's Won't She Do It pancakes and tongue licking turkey chili. So did you make up those recipes? Or grandma?
Well, first of all, I like to have fun in my books because losing weight is not always fun. And so I do have a little tongue-in-cheek in my titles. But let me just say this. First of all, snacks are extremely important. I love snacks. I call it strategic snacking. Snacking means consuming 150 calories or less. It does not mean consuming 400 calories. That's a meal. Number two, the snacks are affordable. Remember, the central theme of Burn, Melt, Shred is affordability. So I want the snacks to be as affordable as the recipes. So my grandmother's recipe for pancakes is exactly her recipe. I loved when she would make us pancakes. And the turkey chili, which, by the way, I have to say is absolutely amazing. I made it several times for some TV shows to demonstrate, and you can't stop eating it. It's turkey chili, but if you want some ground beef, you can replace it with ground beef. Or if you're a vegetarian, you don't have to have any meat at all. But it is a lot of fun. My favorite recipe, though, you didn't mention, is the saucy sloppy joes. They are so delicious. They're so good. Yeah, the recipes are fun. They're easy. They're tasty. They're affordable, and they're going to help you lose weight. And by the way, once again, you mentioned the name of the book. Please go to our Facebook group, Burn, Melt, Shred, because in the group, we share all these recipes and more because we have thousands of people who are saying, try this, try that. And we've noticed that people who are in a group or have community support lose more weight and keep it off longer.
Absolutely, and I'll repeat that on Facebook. You can look them up under Burn, Melt, Shred, and then on Instagram you can follow Dr. Ian at Dr. spelled out Ian Smith. And what I'd like for you to do, if you could, Doctor, is kind of stick around for our next segment. We can continue talking about health and actually take some questions from a few of our viewers. You okay with that?
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, sounds good. We'll be right back after this.